A real moment. We're back at another table. Different house. Same mugs. One chair wobbles. The light comes in from the wrong side in the afternoon. There's a bag full of half-packed stuff in the corner because no one felt like dealing with it yet. Soul is moving between rooms, not really playing with one thing for long. Just exploring. Opening drawers. Closing them again. I'm standing there, waiting for the kettle to boil, and I catch myself doing that thing I've done for years. Looking around and thinking, once this settles. Once the house feels finished. Once we're here long enough. Once things feel more permanent. That thought still shows up sometimes. What we thought stability was. For a long time, stability meant stillness. It meant staying. It meant committing to one place long enough that nothing felt temporary anymore. We thought stability would arrive like a feeling you unlock, like a background hum of safety that never leaves once you get there. And we kept organising our decisions around that idea. Where we lived, how much we unpacked, what we bought, what we delayed. We kept telling ourselves, this isn't real life yet. Real life starts when we're settled. What life actually looked like. But life didn't wait. We still had to eat. We still had to sleep. Still had to show up for a small human who doesn't care whether the house feels finished or not. There were days that felt grounded in places we'd only just arrived, and days that felt completely off in places we'd been for years. There were moments of calm and chaos, and moments of anxiety in situations that looked stable from the outside. Slowly, quietly, it became obvious. The feeling we were waiting for wasn't tied to location. The body noticing before the mind. The body usually figures things out before the mind wants to admit them. I noticed that my shoulders relaxed in the same way no matter where we were, as long as the morning started slowly. That my breath softened after familiar movements, even if the floor was different. That soul slept just as deeply after a simple dinner, whether we were in a place we owned or one we borrowed. The nervous system didn't seem to care about permanence. It cared about rhythm, the tension of almost there. The hardest part wasn't moving. It was living in a constant almost. Almost settled, almost stable, almost calmed. That in-between state where you keep postponing ease because you think it belongs to a future version of yourself. That's where the tension lived. Not in the moment, not in the change, in the waiting. A quiet shift. At some point, without making a big decision about it, we stopped waiting. We stopped asking, is this stable enough yet? We started asking, how do we live inside this as it is? We stopped trying to solve uncertainty. Not because we figured it out, but because we got tired of holding our breath. How we live with it now. Now stability looks smaller. It looks like eating the same kind of breakfast, even in a new kitchen. Like keeping a few objects familiar, not because they're special, but because they're known. Like noticing when the body is calm, even if the future isn't clear. We don't rush to make places feel permanent anymore. We let them feel lived in first. What we stopped chasing. We stopped chasing the idea that safety comes from things staying the same. We stopped believing that calm is something you earn after you've arranged your life correctly. We stopped postponing presence. Not completely, not perfectly, but enough to notice the difference. Stability versus regulation. What we really wanted wasn't stability. It was regulation. We wanted our nervous systems to stop scanning for the next thing. And it turns out, regulation doesn't come from uncertainty. It comes from familiarity in the body. From knowing how to come back to yourself when things are unfinished. Parenting made it clearer. Having a child stripped the illusion pretty fast. Kids don't wait for stability. They live in whatever is happening. They eat when they're hungry. They rest when they're tired. They adapt without making it a philosophy. Watching Soul move through unfamiliar spaces without panic changed something in us. She didn't need everything to be settled. She needed us to be present. What stability feels like now. Now stability feels quieter. Less like a destination, more like a capacity. The capacity to feel okay when things are still changing. The capacity not to rush every transition. The capacity to say, this is enough for today. We might settle somewhere for a long time. We might not. That part is still unclear. But we're not organising our lives around that question anymore. Tonight, the bags can stay half-packed. The house can stay imperfect. The future can stay open. We'll eat. We'll rest. We'll show up tomorrow. And for now, that feels stable enough. This is Grow with Nothing.